Hello and welcome to Project Home DIY. My name is Christine. I'm the owner-curator of Project Home and your November box. Welcome to November. I wanted to give you something that was versatile to be able to use throughout the year in the winter months. So we decided to go with the welcome sign because you're also probably going to have guests over at your home throughout the month because of Thanksgiving. So we decided this would be a great month to be able to put something on your door, make it nice, warm, and welcoming. So let's get started. I already have my project unboxed, but if you are new with us, you will receive your starter kit, which includes your glue gun, glue sticks, paintbrush, and gloves in it. If you are brand new, make sure you do get out your glue gun and glue sticks and paintbrush because you will need it for this project. So get that out and get that warmed up. And the rest of what you see is your project. So you have your wood welcome word, all of your floral for the wreath, which there's tons. I'm so excited to have that much. The pine cones, and of course, pumpkins, so we can make it interchangeable throughout the season this year. So very first thing we're gonna start with, you have your ribbon and your paint and your wreath, of course. My ribbon looks a little bit different than yours. I like yours better. I didn't have it in time for my video, so I will be using red. You guys have a nice black and white stripe, which I will promptly be changing mine out to once I receive mine. So in order to start, the very first thing we are going to do is paint our welcome word so it can set and dry while we assemble the rest of the wreath. So just have your welcome word. If you choose to paint it, you can. I have included a ivory color for you, and I'm just going to dab paint on the surface of this. I will not be covering the sides of it because I do like the dark color of wood around the sides anyways. Also, painting these is a little bit tricky because if you pull your brush across them, you're going to have drips of paint across the side and all everywhere. So I'm just going to pat it like this, okay, once I start painting. But I did not bring something I can put my paint on. That wasn't very smart. Okay, I got a little plastic here I will use as my paint palette. Okay, so again, I'm just going to tap the sides of this with my brush and paint. I'm not going to drag across at all, so just like this. Okay, that's nice and covered. I'm happy with the look, and I will let that set to the side and dry. You will notice there might be a little bit of texture you see from the paintbrush, but once that dries, I'm going to take my sanding block and real lightly sand over the top, and you won't even see that texture at all. Let's assemble our wreath. So here it is, and you have all the floral. So first, I would like you to sort out the floral. Make sure you have your metal pieces. These are going to be used to kind of secure floral in place. Okay, now take apart any bundles that there are, and you should have a few of each piece, so kind of sort them into different types that you have. So you have like the silver dollar eucalyptus, we have pine cones, there's more silver dollar eucalyptus, there's more of that one and that one. All these different types of pine. We have some cedar. There's lots to choose from. I was excited to be able to get you guys the variety and the amount. So all these projects you see are curated just for Project Home. And they're kind of ideas in my head along with inspiration we see and stuff that you also share through our VIP group. So thanks for sharing things. And we take those and kind of put them together and make your projects. And I want you to know, last month, if you're seeing these little dudes behind here, this was October, Gnome-tober project. These are our gnomes. They're exclusively created for Project Home DIY. You're not going to find these guys anywhere else. And the coolest part about them is they are DIY. They come unassembled. You have the gnome bodies. You fill them, you make them. A lot of you probably got to do that project. But if you did miss out, check our store, our one-time box selection, and there may be some of those guys left. They are exclusive and super special because they come with 2 sets of hats. So you can swap out the Christmassy hats, and I gave you some October fall theme looking hats as well. A lot of you also use maybe black and red for Christmas too, and you can use those throughout the year in the winter months. So if you like those little dudes, you can snag them back in our one-time box area of our shop. So once you have everything of your floral all separated out, go ahead and bring your wreath into the center. And you want to keep everything pretty symmetrical on your wreath. You can totally choose to put, you know, big globs over on one side. If you don't like the way we lay it out, you can totally choose how to do it however you want. But the way I'm going to do it is to keep everything pretty symmetrical. So if I do one thing on one side, I'm going to do it on the other side the same way. So I'm going to start with these 2 big fluffy pieces of pine. I'm just going to stuff them in there. And then I'm also going to take a piece of wire and kind of guide it through. This might get a little tricky. So kind of do it at an angle and fish it back through the other end. So here I got it through just like that. And then I'm going to make sure my piece goes right over that. So then I can tie it in really tight, but I'm not going to do that yet because I want to make sure that I get more than just one thing put in. So then I'm going to put this in on the other side. Again, keeping it nice and symmetrical. I do want to keep it kind of wide because then I'm going to work my way in, and then we have their cluster of either pine cones or pumpkins that we'll include. Okay, so I got that piece in on that side, and then I'm going to work in my more pieces of pine, just coming down a little bit further into the wreath. So we're going to kind of create a fanned out look. Again, what I do to one side, I want to do to the other. These pieces are metal, so you can bend them. Gives you the flexibility. Okay, so I got those 3 pieces in, and now I'm going to take this wire piece and really tighten it around those 3 pieces. See how it pulled it back in? But again, they're metal, so you can pull them back out. And then just hide those empty wires somewhere else. So here I'm going to pull it together really tight, twist it hard, and hide those wires and pull apart again. Get that real fluffiness in there. Okay, these guys. These guys are fitting a little tighter in there. I like how they feel, so I might not do as much as far as putting in the wire. You might find you have extra of that, which you can use on another project too. Work those guys in there. Sweet, that looks awesome. Gave myself a nice open spot right there. And then I'm going to take my glue gun and just glue in some pieces, keeping those steady in there. I got paint on my glue gun. Better put that away. Okay, now I'm going to fill in all over with the eucalyptus because I just love it. So I'm going to stick it in there. And you can also, just to make sure it stays, like put some glue on the eucalyptus and then shove it in there, and whatever it lands on, it will glue to. That's a good way to adhere these sprigs somewhere in here. I love eucalyptus, especially this stuff. We really debated on providing you with the real eucalyptus, silver dollar, but decided not to because if it gets wet, the naturally dried preserved stuff, if it gets wet, it will be ruined right away. At least this can withstand some weather. So I don't know where you guys live, but I know you're all over the country, so we have to plan for every kind of weather out there because our subscribers are everywhere. But I'm in Wyoming, and we have lots of wintry weather. So I kind of plan for the worst and make it fit so everybody can kind of work from that. Okay, so I like the way that looks. I'm not going to use some of this. So I like the way that turned out. Everything feels secure in there. I don't need more of that. I do like having these pine cones. I like the look of those guys for all the time. So I'm going to add them in just right there. Since I only have two, I'm going to do one on each side. It's probably the simplest project home we've ever done. But it's beautiful. Okay, so far I'm loving it. All right, now it's closer to Thanksgiving for me and when I'm doing my project than it is for Christmas or winter. So I'm going to start with my pumpkins. If you have to put the wires in your pumpkins, just go ahead and take your little wires. I did pre-poke a hole in my pumpkin, and then I'm going to put a little tiny dot of hot glue right around that dude so it for sure stays. I pre-poked a hole just so it makes it easier for that wire to go in. Might as well not struggle with it if I don't have to. And I think I'm going to use a combination of both pine cones and pumpkins, just not many pine cones, just a couple. So I'm going to work those guys in there. Maybe one right there. And maybe one on the bottom. So fun because they're on wire, so you can do anything you want with them and they'll go wherever you want them. So I'm just sticking this pumpkin all the way through. And just wrap that wire for the pumpkin around anywhere you can find. Just finding that certain spot for it to go through is kind of hard sometimes. Okay. Perfect. Okay. I like it. That looks good to me. I'm going to turn it over and look. Just make sure my ends are kind of bent down in some places. Okay. Looks good to me. Everything feels pretty tight and secure. So I don't want to lose anything. With being in Wyoming, it's also windy because we live in the mountains for sure. Okay, extra pine cones for later. Now I'm going to add the bow, and I'm just going to make a loop that hangs, that I can hang from my hanger. So just a simple loop like that. And again, yours is gonna be black and white, and I'm so jealous. I really wish I had mine. Be careful when gluing ribbon together, it'll seep through. So just be really super careful of that. If you choose to touch it, my biggest tip is to lick your fingers first and gently press it. The glue will not stick to your fingers if they're a little bit wet. And if you hold that together, it will hold nicely. You can put that seam right on the back of there. So there's that piece. And then I'm going to make a tiny little bow, just a little guy. You can do whatever you would like with yours. I don't know how well my bow will turn out because it's not that big. But you will have much more, that will work. I will do this. You will have much more fabric to work with than I do. I'm going to use one of the metal pieces to put it together too. It's a super easy way. Okay. There's that. It doesn't look so cute yet, but I'm going to take a piece of burlap and cover it. The center. I'm going to dovetail these ends. If you don't know how to dovetail, just fold your ribbon in half and cut in towards the center. And there's your dovetail. Here's my other end. He's a little shorter. So again, fold in half, cut in towards the center. There's my dovetail. Okay, now since I used wire, I can fluff these up a little bit. So that's an easy way to make a bow. Another fun bow is a messy bow where you just take strips. It would be just like this, a bunch of strips, and all different textures, colors, very fun. Then gather it all together in the center, and then you would just, like this one, burlap does this. It's kind of super fun to look. You can pull it apart like that. And that's another fun bow. Maybe I'll just put this guy in the middle of that bow. That'll be cute. Freedom to do anything you want with this look. It's fun to pull burlap apart, make it look all broken. Okay. My metal piece is really kind of in the way. There we go. See, and then I can put this guy right in the middle of that one. Totally up to you how you want to do this. Okay, there's my little red bow. So if you want to do a burlap messy bow with your black and white, that would be really cute. I'm just going to glue this guy right onto the head. right there, so I kind of have a little element to it. It'll hang. Push that out a little. Oops. Didn't hold it long enough. Okay, and last but not least is adding your welcome word. This will be fun in seeing how you guys decide to space it. If you put it at the top, if you put it across the bottom, or wherever you decide to go. There's lots of different places and what you can do with it. And once I look at it now, I don't mind the texture of it as it looked before, so I'm going to leave it. And I also like the look of kind of putting it right up here. So I'm just gonna make sure everything's centered before I attach him. Okay, I like that. This guy is fragile, so be careful with him. Don't be too rough or else it will break, but you can add it in somewhere in here as well, like that. It's kind of cute. Maybe I'll do it this way. Wherever, but I think I'm just gonna go straight across the top. Okay, I will probably stick a metal piece through the welcome word just to secure it down a little bit better. And then I will also hot glue it in place. So I'm going to put that through the E. And then twist. And again, just wrap that wire and hide it. If you are worried about that E or the metal showing, the metal wire, we'll paint it too. I'll turn that around so you can see it. And there's one piece sticking up right here. I'm just gonna twist that W right around it. Wait, I want to twist on the side. Maybe even back in here. I'm going to gently set it down on its back. There we go. Perfect. Get rid of that guy. Okay, if you don't like the look of those showing, just take a dab of your paint and paint right over them. And you won't see them anymore, because they'll blend in with the sides. Ta-da! They're gone. Okay. And that is your November project. All finished. Oops. So, make sure that you join us for December, where we get nice and cozy with another versatile all winter long project. Can't wait to see you, and till next time, happy crafting. Bye.